dear students, I am Dr. Shikha Pandey, Associate Professor from Institute of Aeronautical Engineering. So today I will discuss about the Municipal Solid Waste Rule, that is 2016. So first of all, in this lecture series of this, so let's start this lecture with just the basic meaning of this municipal solid waste. In this lecture series of this subject, solid waste management, I have discussed about the waste as an energy, waste as an fuel, waste, how waste can be utilized for the anaerobic digestion process, aerobic digestion process, landfills, incinerator. So today I will discuss about the municipal solid waste and what is this municipal solid waste management and handling rules, when, in which year it has been amended, how many times it has been amended, and how this rules has been changed from last year, and on what basis this rules has been changed, and what are the different schedules that has been provision has been given into this municipal solid waste management rule. So first of all, municipal solid waste, as we already discussed in many times, like the municipal solid waste are the waste that will be generated from the residential area, like some paper waste, some yard trimming, some furniture, clothing, bottles, cans, some foods, newspaper. So like this waste that has been generated from our household activity is, or from our residential activity, is called as municipal solid waste. And normally it has been categorized into 6 categories, like from household area only. First is the food residue. Food residue means those waste which is organic in nature. So organic waste comes under the food residue. Then wood waste, that is dry waste, paper waste, textile, cloths are there, plastics and rubber. So all these all together, these type of waste will make the municipal solid waste. And this municipal solid waste are including the commercial and residential waste. So waste that is generated from the commercial activity and residential activity, and it should be this municipal or in a specified municipal area or a notified area in either solid or semi-solid forms. And they, in this we are excluding the industrial hazardous waste. Like the industrial hazardous waste is not added, only the waste that is generated from the commercial activity or residential activity from a notified area or either in the solid or semi-solid forms. And in this, only those waste which can be either organic in nature or dry or it is. And in this waste we are not adding the hazardous waste or biomedical waste or some municipal waste. So that's why this rule has been made, that is municipal solid waste management and handling rule 2000. Now we will discuss about the, and in that municipal solid waste they have categorized the from MSW, they have categorized the biomedical waste and hazardous waste. So because these two are infectious and toxic in nature, so this biomedical waste is again categorized from this one, hazardous waste also. So biomedical, so first of all they have given definition of the biomedical waste and why this biomedical waste is now not counted among the MSW, and what are the schedule that has been made for the biomedical waste. So biomedical waste means any waste that is generated during the diagnosis or treatment or immunization of human beings, that has been generated from the hospital or nursing home. So this type of waste is categorized under the biomedical waste. So same like this, animal or research activity that is pertaining to in the production or testing of biological or some health camp, like including the categories that has been mentioned in the schedule 1 appended to this rule. So for these rules, in this MSW management and handling rules, schedule 1 is there. So in schedule 1 they have mentioned many rules, and that is pertaining to go or in production or testing of biological or sometimes in health camp, and that is included in this category, and that has been mentioned in the schedule 1 of these rules. So now comes to here, municipal solid waste is works on the principle of waste minimization. So first of all we'll talk about the waste minimization. in waste minimization is like the prevention of waste being created and is known as waste reduction. So prevention of waste is like waste which has been created and it is known as the reduction of waste. That is an important methods in the waste management. So reduction of waste, like to reduce the waste, is a very important point in this waste management category. So the modern concept, which is based on the 3R: reduce, reuse and recycle. So method of avoidance includes reuse of second hand product, designing product to be refilled or reusable, repairing broken item instead of buying a new item. So like this, you can see this is the hierarchy of this waste minimization. Like from, if we avoid the more production of waste, or if we avoid something, then obviously reduce will be there. Then we will go for the reuse of the waste. Sometimes some waste will go for the recycle. Then finally what is there, that is disposable. So this is the hierarchy that is related with the minimization of waste. Prevention of waste that has been created is known as waste reduction, and it is an important method in the waste management. So modern concept is there that is based on the 3R: reduce, reuse and recycle. Methods of avoidance is included in the reuse of second hand product, designing products that should be refillable or reusable, repairing broken items instead of buying a new item. So this is a scenario of solid waste management in India. So India is the second largest nation in the world, that is having a population of 1.21 billion. So this will be accounting for nearly 18% of world's human population. The proportion of population residing in urban areas has been increased from 27% in the year 2001 to 31% in 2011, and it is now likely to have to reach to up to 50% by the year 2030. So India is facing a sharp contrast between its increasing urban population and available services. India is like facing a sharp contrast between its increasing urban population and available services and resources. So solid waste management is among that service where the India has an enormous gap to fill. So it is estimated that urban India generate about 1.5 lakhs tons of solid waste per day. So like that, in this way this management is very much required. Like this our on a daily basis, it is about 1.5 lakhs tons of solid waste is producing per day. So per capita solid waste generation rate in India has increased from 0.44 kg per day to approximately 0.5 kg per day in the year 2011, and now it is 2.5 kg per day. So waste generation rate in Indian cities will range between 200 to 870 grams per day. Depending upon the region's lifestyle and the size of the city, the per capita waste generation is increasing. So depending upon the region's lifestyle and the size of the city, so per capita waste generation is increasing about 1.3% per year in India. So waste generation rate in Indian city is like 200 to 870 grams per day. And now depending upon the region's lifestyle and the size of the city, the per capita waste generation is increasing by about 1.3% per year in India. So this is the waste generation rate in Indian city, and that will be range between 200 to 870 grams per day. And depending upon the region's lifestyle and the size of the city, the per capita waste generation is increasing by about 1.3% per year in India. Now comes to the next point, like what is the problem behind this unscientific municipal solid waste disposal. So about 75 to 80% of the MSW gets collected, and out of this only 22 to 28% is processed and treated, and remaining is like that it should be disposed of indiscriminately at the dump yard. So it is projected that by the year 2031 the MSW generation shall increases to 165 million tons and to 436 million tons by 2050. So this is the scenario, this is the problem of unscientific municipal solid waste disposal. Like about 75 to 80% of the MSW gets collected and out of this only 22 to 28% is processed and treated, and remaining is like disposed of indiscriminately at dump yards. So that it has been given the figure like that by the year 2031 the MSW generation shall be increases to 165 million tons and to 436 million tons by 2050. So, as per the report of the task force of Ernestville Planning Commission, the untapped waste has a potential of generating 439 megawatt of power. So, and it will be like 32,890 TPD of combustible waste, including like RDF will be there, that is refuse derived fuel, and 1.3 million cubic meter of biogas per day, or 72 megawatt of electricity of biogas, and 5.4 million metric tons of compost annually to support the agriculture. So this is the scenario that has been related with this solid waste management. Like what happened, a report has been given. In that report, it is said that many megawatt of powers form will be there, and some combustible waste will be there. So if we go from for the waste to energy, then this will be very much useful, waste to energy and electricity from biogas. Next is the electricity from biogas. Electricity from biogas. So if it has been given that it should be utilized because already too much waste has been generated every year, and this waste should be converted to fuel, or we should use electricity from the solid waste. So it will be very much useful, and it can be utilized in some other direction. Next is the Municipal Solid Waste Act. So what this Municipal Solid Waste Management Act has been given. So this Municipal Solid Waste Management and Handling Rule 2000, Management and Handling Rule 2000 has a specific directive to the local bodies, some district administrator and the urban development department of the state government for the proper and scientific management of municipal solid waste. For proper and scientific management of MSW. So under this rule, it is mandatory for all the urban local bodies to provide facilities for the collection, transportation, and treatment and disposal of municipal solid waste in a scientific and hygienic manner. So it is a duty of the district level, administrative level, or some local bodies to manage the municipal solid waste, specific directives to the local bodies and the urban development departments of the state government for the proper and scientific management of MSW. So under this rule, it is mandatory for all the urban local bodies. It has been mandatory for all the urban local bodies to provide facilities for the collection, transportation, treatment, and final disposal of MSW in a scientific and hygienic manner, so that it will not disturb the vicinity of the MSW site, vicinity of the area, so that it will not disturb the local people and nuisance will not be created. Because when the waste will be throwing into here and there, then this will create many diseases, and it is a totally unscientific and unhygienic manner also. So this provision has been made in this MSW rule 2000. So next is like that, this management and handling rule will be there in the 2000. It is applicable to every municipal authority. They are responsible for the collection, segregation, storage, transportation, processing, and disposal of MSW. This rule will contain 4 schedules. So 4 schedules are there in this MSW Management Rule 2000. First schedule is related with the implementation. Implementation has been made for all the MSW sites. Second is like specification relating to collection, segregation, storage, transportation, processing, and disposal of MSW. Specification that will be related to the collection, segregation, storage, transportation, processing, and disposal of MSW. And next is like specification for landfilling, indicating the site selection, facilities at the site, specification for landfilling, pollution prevention, water quality monitoring, ambient air quality monitoring, plantation and landfill site, closure of landfill site, and post care. For Schedule 4 will indicate the waste processing options that will includes the standard for composting, treating, leachate and incinerator. So Schedule 4 will indicate the waste processing option, like it will includes the standards for composting, then treated leachates and incinerators. So like that, this MSW solid waste management and handling rule is divided into 4 schedules: schedule 1, 2, 3 and 4. One is about the implementation rules. Second is about the specification that will be related with the collection, segregation, storage, transportation, processing and disposal of municipal solid waste. Specification for landfilling is basically indicates the site selection, facilities at the site, and then a specification for some landfilling, pollution prevention, water quality monitoring, ambient air quality monitoring, plantation at landfill site, then after the post care and closure of the landfill sites. Next is that, like that, it indicates the waste processing options, which includes the standards for composting, some treated leachates and incinerations. Then we will discuss about the status of its implementation of this rule. What is the status? So first thing is that assessment of status of solid waste management is based on the annual report being furnished by local bodies to State Pollution Control Board, and then they will forward the consolidated annual report to the CPCB. Assessment of status of solid waste management is based on the annual reports that has been furnished by local bodies to the State Pollution Control Boards, and then forwarding this annual reports to the CPCB or SPCB. So this is the status that has been related with the implementation of this MSW rule. So all municipal authorities has to update to the Central Pollution Control Board Authority or State Pollution Control Board Authority. So what work they has been done at their level to their municipality and how they are implementing all the schedule related with the MSW. Next is the implementation of Schedule 2. So efforts are being made by many local bodies for creating awareness in the citizens for ensuring proper management of waste. So efforts are being made by many local bodies for creating awareness in the citizens for ensuring the proper management of waste. This will include the systemization of procedures relating to waste collection, segregation, storage and transportation. So the proper management of waste is mainly include the systematization of procedures relating to waste collection, segregation, storage and transportation. So however, what happened? These efforts are either restricted to a few localities or wards within the town or a few ULB taken up such efforts to entire town level. So these efforts are either restricted to a few localities or some wards within the town or few urban local bodies that are taking up such efforts at entire town level. The efforts made by local bodies for bringing improvement in the waste collection, segregation, storage and then transportation. Cleanliness varies from town to town depending on the initiative taken by the local body. So the cleanliness of this implementation of this Schedule 2 will varies from city to city, and it will depends upon basically on the initiative taken by that local body. Schedule 3 is like disposal of waste is still continue through open dumping. So as per the information of State State Pollution Control Board, landfill has been reported as constructed. Then from many metropolitan cities are there where it has been reported that the landfills is already implemented and that is under the construction stage. So most of the metropolitan cities like Bangalore, Karwar, Puttur, all these states have established the construction of landfill at these places. This is about the Schedule 3. And implementation of Schedule 4 is like the waste processing. So there has been a positive movement on setting up of waste processing facilities as compared to the efforts made in the previous year. So there has been a positive movement on setting up of waste processing facilities as compared to the efforts made in the previous year. So in many states, several towns have responded that there is a partial composting, vermicomposting facilities, and local bodies have not so far preferred waste to energy projects except in the state of Andhra Pradesh. So in many states, several towns have responded that there is a partial composting or vermicomposting facilities, and local bodies have not so far preferred waste to energy projects except in the state of Andhra Pradesh. So it has been observed that composting and vermicomposting is preferred as an easy technological option by local bodies, and other options like thermal processing, like incineration, pyrolysis, etc., and are not attempted due to non-availability of operating experiences. So it is already observed that the composting and vermicomposting is preferred as easy technological option by some local bodies, and other options like thermal processing, some incineration process, pyrolysis process are not attempted because of the non-availability of operating experience. So at the national level, initiative has been taken in the manner like CPCB and MOEF like Ministry of Environment and Forest, and other central ministries like Ministry of Urban Development and Ministry of Non-Conventional Energy Sources have taken initiative to facilitate implementation of MSW rule. Some of the initiative taken are like, first is like demonstration of projects. So in that project, what they did, MOEF and CPCB have instituted a scheme for setting up of demonstration project for the solid waste management in accordance to the MSW rules. Next is the objectives of the scheme is to demonstrate implementation of MSW rule in an integrated manner. Objective of the scheme is to demonstrate the implementation of MSW rule in an integrated manner. This scheme is based on the cost sharing basis, where concerned local bodies are required to contribute 50% of the total cost of the project. So this scheme is based on the cost sharing basis. So where what happened, the concerned local body are required to contribute 50% of the total cost of the project. Then this rule has been amended many years. After many times when the different rules is coming, this waste management rule has been amended. First is the plastic waste management rule 16. Then it has been amended as a e-waste management rule 2016. Then biomedical waste management rule 2016. Then again construction and demolition waste management rule 16 will be there. Then again another letter will be there, that is GSR number 395. This will be related with the hazardous and other waste management and transboundary movement rule 2016. Next is like SO 1357E, where the solid waste management rule 2016 will be there. So this is the scenario and amendment of this municipal solid waste rule. So it has been amended for plastic waste, for e-waste, for biomedical waste, and for construction demolition waste, for hazardous waste, and for solid waste. So it has been categorized. The rules, handling mechanism, all process has been categorized based on the nature of the waste. Either it is for plastic waste, is it for e-waste, is it for biomedical waste, or sometimes it's for construction and demolition waste, hazardous waste, and then solid waste. So for every waste, this rules has been changed. So in the year 2016, this rule has been amended. So the Environment Ministry has revised this solid waste management rule after 16 years. So the rule are now applicable beyond municipal area, and it will extend to urban agglomeration, census town, notified industrial township areas under the control of Indian Railway, airports, airbase, port and harbour, defence establishment, special economic zones, state and central government organization, some pilgrim place, or some religious one, or sometimes some historical importance. The responsibility of generators has been introduced to segregate waste into 3 categories. So the waste has been segregated. So in this, they have proposed that the waste should be segregated into dry, wet and wet and hazardous. hazardous waste. So this is about the MSW rule that has been amended for these three things. So generator will have to pay user fee to the waste collector and the spot fine for littering and non-segregation of waste. So the quantum of which will be decided by the local bodies. Next is the integration of the rag pickers from the informal sector or to the formal sector has been introduced in case of hilly areas. Land for construction of sanitary landfills in the hilly areas will be identified in the plain area that is within the 25 kilometer. So this is the rule that has been amended. So the generator will have to pay an user fee to the waste collector and spot fine for the littering and non-segregation of the waste, and which will decide by the local bodies. These local bodies are basically the municipal people. And then the rag pickers from the informal sectors to the formal sector has been introduced in case of the hilly area. Land for construction of sanitary landfill in the hilly area will be identified in the plain area that should be within the 25 kilometer. Then MSW rule 2016 it has been amended. So what they have been given, like all restaurants, hotel should segregate biodegradable waste and set up a system of collection or follow the system of collection set up by local bodies to ensure that the food waste is utilized for composting or biomethanation. Next is the all resident welfare and market association, like some gated communities and institution will be in area of more than 5,000 square meter. They should segregate waste at their source into a valuable dry waste like plastic, steel, glass, paper, etc. and hand over the recyclable material to either by the authorized waste picker or the authorized recycler or to the urban local bodies. The biodegradable waste should be processed, treated and disposed of through the composting or biomethanation within the premises as far as possible, and the residual waste shall be given to the waste collectors or agency as directed by the local authority. Next, so now we are concluding this lecture at this point, like the waste management reduces the effect of waste on the environment and human health. There are many things that need to be taken care into consideration when discussing the waste management, like disposal methods, recycling method, avoidance and some reduction method, and then transportation of waste. Waste management is very important as it saves the environment from the toxic effects of inorganic and biodegradable elements that is present in the waste. Waste management is becoming more important not just for the environment protection but also as a growing industry for an economy. So this is all about the waste management handling rules, why this waste management handling rule is required and what are the different provision has been given in all its 4 schedule. So this waste management has been divided into 4 schedule, and all 4 schedule is discussing about the management of waste and what are the different effects of waste on the environment health. And there are many this waste management should be taken care by account, and when discussing this will be include the disposal methods, recycling method, avoidance and reduction methods and transportation of waste. It is important because it saves the environment from the toxic of the inorganic and biodegradable element present in the waste. It is becoming more important because of the environment protection is very much required as a growing industry for an economy. So thank you for today's lecture.
Like, share and subscribe. Hit the bell icon for more updates.